Ecosystems are shaped by biotic and abiotic factors. But before biotic factors like plants, animals, and fungi can become established, we need abiotic factors like sunlight, rainfall, and nutrients. And today, I'm here with ecologist Joe Mascaro, and he studies how ecosystems change over time. And Joe's going to help us understand how we can start with solid rock, and through biotic and abiotic factors, they can change this rock to support life. So let's track the stages of primary succession by visiting lava flows of different ages.
So, Suze, this is the earliest stage of succession, where the rock's been colonized by lichen and some small sword ferns. These guys will colonize lava right away, almost the day after it cools. And once they do, they'll begin the soil formation process. So they'll grow and they'll start to break apart the edges of these rocks, which are really friable and easy to break. And then the lichen will fix nitrogen from the atmosphere, and that will begin to build up soil on the surface of the rock.
Now let's move to the next stage of succession, one that's a bit older.
Well, Suze, this flow looks like the ecosystem has developed a bit more than the last flow. So you can see how there's so much more lichen than there was on the previous flow. It's almost like a carpet. And as the lichen grows, it's basically breaking up the surface of the rock and starting the soil formation process, which is really happening in earnest now compared to the previous flow.
The first plants that become established are early colonizers. Early colonizers have other characteristics. They're fast-growing, they need lots of light, and they're usually wind dispersed.
That's right. And there's basically two types of early colonizers we might see on a flow like this. There's some that have a symbiotic relationship with fungi, and so they're able to fix atmospheric nitrogen directly and use it immediately. And then there are plants that are just able to tolerate really low levels of nitrogen, like ohia.
Okay, off to the next stage. So here we have an even older flow.
So we're actually going to see quite a bit more soil here than we saw in earlier flows. And we've really got a lot of moss. So we're really starting to see the ohias come together, and we're getting much closer to a closed forest. We're not quite there yet, but you can see how much taller they are and thicker.
Off to the next flow. So this is what scientists would call mature forest. It's over 300 years old. It might be hard to imagine, but this whole area was once barren lava rock. Let's go check it out.
So, we're definitely in a later successional forest now, which means we're dealing mostly with tree species that are not wind dispersed. They typically have big fruits, maybe dispersed by animals. They're much slower growing, and of course they tolerate shade. And as a result of all those features, they tend to need a lot more nutrients over time to grow.